So Donald Trump and the Office of Budget and Management Director Russell Vought, who worked on Project 2025, have a plan for how they want to handle government spending, and they're trying to wrestle control of the purse away from Congress. Now, how would they do that? Well, they want to use what is called impoundment. Now, all presidents from Washington through Nixon used impoundment in some form, and impoundment is this idea that the president can just say, okay, Congress approved these funds, but we're not spending that. I disagree. I'm directing the Treasury to not spend it. And while Nixon was doing a lot of that, they passed the Impoundment Control Act of 1974, which severely limits the president's ability to impound funds. It says the president can only impound money for 45 days, and then the money must be spent as directed by Congress. Donald Trump, for his part, and his advisors are trying to say that this law is unconstitutional. And they want to take it all the way to the Supreme Court, obviously hoping that the Supreme Court would side with them and say, yes, the president can do this. Around the time the Impoundment Control Act was passed, there was a case in front of the Supreme Court at that time, and that Supreme Court ruled that the president does not have the constitutional authority to impound money that is approved by Congress, because Congress, specifically the House of Representatives, has the power of the purse. Was set up that way when they wrote the Constitution, because at that time, your senators were appointed by your state legislatures or your state governor, depending on your state, and the president was elected by the Electoral College. The only branch of government, the only part of the government that was directly elected by the people was the House. So therefore, the budget, the purse strings of the government, was supposed to be held by the people, or the people's house, their representatives. So he's going to try to set up this fight, and he's going to try to impound these funds and hold back. He was impeached for doing just that the first time with the money that was appropriated to Ukraine, when he tried to say to Zelensky, go ahead and start an investigation into Joe Biden, and then I will release this money that Congress said you should have. Now, ultimately, it could lead to another impeachment of Donald Trump, although seems unlikely right now with the current makeup of the House. You never know what could happen. And it's ultimately going to get challenged in the courts. And I don't think even this Supreme Court is willing to go against the Constitution that far and say the president has the final say, when it's very clear in the Constitution that the House controls the purse.